on this episode of the VR4.
Mitsu Gun?
So in this part of the video, I am unloosening the bolt that attaches to the manifold top part. There's 3 bolts that are connected. You can see the 2 bolts that are connected to the neck of the manifold. There's one more bolt behind that I'm just unloosening. Now I was trying to unloosen it for a while. I was ratcheting and it didn't seem like it was wanting to get free. After a while, Randy had said, after a while I had said, this thing isn't even getting loose, or I know it's not that long of a bolt. Randy had put his finger under there, and then he was able to feel that there was a bolt, a nut on top of the on the bolt under all of that, under the manifold. So what he had to do was he had to get a wrench and put it under there to hold the bolt down, to hold the nut down, and then I torqued it from the top to be able to get the bolt loose, and we were able to get that final bolt out to, again, try to get the manifold off without taking anything from under a loose or anything.
Pull it out. The wrench just fell. Oh no.
So, just when we thought that we have gotten the last bolt out, the manifold still wouldn't come out. There is a plate again around those 3 bolts that we had to take off from the left of the manifold, where it connects to the bottom of the exhaust. There's a bracket that goes around on the back part that were connected by 2 bolts that was making it hard for us to get the manifold out. That's what we think that was in our way, that was pinching it from coming out. So now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to bend that bracket out, because it's not supporting anything really, and it's just more support for the manifold up top. So we're going to bend that plate out, and then hopefully that'll make it so the exhaust will be clear.
So close. Make sure that that's just fucking.
And just when we thought that bracket was going to be the last thing we needed to take off before we can get the manifold out, definitely was not the case. We have to do some more research and figure out how to take this manifold off. What up? Welcome back. So, as you can see, we almost have the header off, but it is getting caught under here. We're gonna try to take these 2 bolts off from the turbo to see if it'll come down, and then we'll be able to take this off, because it's getting caught on the bracket, we believe. And these bolts right here come at an angle, so I believe if we take these 2 bolts off, we'll be able to push the turbo at least forward, or at least out of the way enough so we can take the header off. So that is most likely the next thing that we are going to do. Once we do that, we can slap on the new header and start putting everything back. Oh, and as well, this new header doesn't have these notches for the shield, so might not be running a shield. I might have to find another way to wrap the header. Probably with that wrap that you see everybody else has. So I'll keep you guys informed with that. We're gonna do some more research to see if we need to just take these 2 bolts off to get it off, and we're gonna come back probably tomorrow or the next day and hopefully take it off. So I'll cut to that day tomorrow. Oh yeah, I wanted to show. We did have to check the alternator out. Wasn't too bad, but it did leave a lot of room for us to take out the rest of the stuff. If you take the alternator out, you have a lot of room to be able to take out everything. There's all this room right here. Plus there's the compressor right there, the AC pump. This belt, I found out, was terrible. That's the reason why my car was making so much noise, probably while I was trying to start it. As well, the other one, for the idler, it looks a little frayed on the ends as well. And luckily it's before the shield, so I might just switch both of those out. I might not have to switch out or do the pulleys and all that other stuff, but they say you're supposed to, you should switch them all out since all of it is exposed, and the only thing that's holding, that's keeping, well, the only thing that's in the way is that mount. We got to move that AC thing out of the way, and then you'll be able to take the shield off and expose that whole area. So I just wanted to let you guys see that and what we found for this belt, and I might be replacing the other belt as well. So yeah. So again, this is a new day. We're back in the garage, and we took out the 2 bolts from behind. We took off the water line from the turbo, and that gave us just enough room to try to inch out the header from the head studs. So as you can see, he's prying and we're prying. It keeps getting stuck on that left header part. It's like it comes up at an angle, so which was making it very difficult to try to get out. But with enough prying from both sides, after we got that left part out, it was kind of easy to get the right part out, because the right part wanted to come out anyways. But I forgot to film it, and Randy just pulled it out, yanked it out, and then I filmed this next part. Yeah.
You missed the video. You want me to like it?
No, don't fucking put it back in there. Fuck that. Finally got it out. Jeez.
Yeah, but you can tell. Use your flashlight. So you see how all the clear this side of here is toast. So you see all the greasy spots?
Yeah, that's leaking out.
That's all leaking out. You can tell on here where it's all nice and shiny and where it's not. So now we got that off.
Yeah.
Yep. You gotta.
Leaking out of there.
You gotta. Yep. Hey, at least you don't have an oil leak.
Yeah.
You just got a excessive.
I'll smooth this out.
But what I want to know is why that's there. That's what I want to know. If somebody knows, that'd be nice. Cause
that'll definitely, well, it's grooved inside, so
something had to be there, like a sensor or bolt for an additional.
That small?
For
that sensor?
Oh yeah, for a turbo sensor to make sure that it's getting the right amount. You can put an extra turbo sensor in here, in the header.
Bolt. Okay.
There could have been a bolt in there, but I'm saying somebody could have put this on because it doesn't look like it's it looks like it's a made, shipped, custom. Look at the welding on there.
That's not OEM.
No. I think somebody was trying to. Somebody tried putting an extra sensor or something in there, or they wanted an extra something in there. But that's not. Where's your new one? welding feed are way too big to be OEM. You would not have. Look at that. That's how.
That's the wrong one.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Nope, that's the right one.
I'll show you the beads. And this one has the same hole. It's right there.
Right there.
Instead of over there. But look at the. So you need to figure out what the fuck that's for.
Well, it doesn't matter. I can put something in
Put
there.
something in it. It doesn't matter. It's just what is it for? What the fuck is that?
I don't know what it's supposed to is all get out.
So figure out what that's for. Just the same hole over there. So I'm guessing it's an added sensor. Yeah, there's gotta be. Look at that. They put that in after the fact.
Oh.
See,
Can't put it in there anyways because I gotta put that plug that bunghole.
yeah, I gotta figure out what that's for. Clean that up. And while we have all this out, bring your lifters over and we'll rip this apart.
Already here.
And we can figure out if what it cost me. I put $1,700 in that thing with brand new engine, brand new front end.
Yeah.
$1,700 to run into that truck.
Well, everything's brand new though.
Yeah, everything's.
Okay, so now that we are done with taking off the manifold, finally, we are able to focus on, I guess, since we're in this general area, we're going to start taking off the manifold so I can paint, probably take out the spark plugs, probably switch those over to brand new ones, and I'll just get the valve cover looking pretty good with the color that I chose. You probably guys already know what the color is going to be. As well, I'm going to try to fill in the gap where the there's like a metal or plastic piece that goes over the spark plugs. I'm going to probably craft either a wooden or metal thing that goes for that part, but we're going to get that manifold off. I'm going to paint it and looking good for the rest of the engine bay. Like the Black Raven or something like that?
I think I'd be black.
Because I'm black.
Caps look good. Your flashlight? It's right here. So first things you want to look for are your gaps between here. Look good.
I could buy new ones of these too. I think these are rockers.
Rocker arms.
But I wasn't sure if I should, if mine were fine or not.
I mean, we could.
Here, let me go get my. But the only thing is, those look smaller than the big bore ones that I got from 3SX. From what I remember.
So my whole thing is we could.
Get that fucking tool. I'm getting. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get that tool.
So my thing is we could take these off. We could take off all of these. And we could replace the lifters. We're gonna take them off anyways to replace the lifters. Because I'm pretty sure even with a tool.
This is literally a whatchamacallit that can just lift that up and you can just pop that out.
Yeah, let me see. I'm not gonna do this first. Let's see if this lifts up easy or not. Oh, okay.
So we had a successful night. We were able to. We did a lot of work. So we were able to get the header off. And we found out that there was a I'm not sure if that's a sensor or whatnot, but we're assuming that while I was driving, the bolt or whatever vibrated out, and that's what was causing me to lose air while I was trying to create boost or whatnot. So looking at this, there's no other thing, and I think this is like an aftermarket manifold. This doesn't look OEM, but I mean, at least we think But looking at it, there's no other holes that are indicating that there is any other holes in here besides that one. So, as well, in the new one, show you guys really quick. In the new one, they still have that hole. So, and there's rivets in there. So that just shows that there was a bolt in there, and we just gotta find out. I want to find out what this hole is, and if I don't need it, put a hole in there, put some Loctite in there, so nothing will ever come out of there again, and I won't ever get any more air loss from that area ever. As well, we went ahead and took the valve cover off, and we're gonna start switching out the lifters. I have the lifters. We lifted up one, and one of, I'll show you this really quick. We lifted this rocker right here to expose this lifter, and we saw the hole, and this hole is way smaller, so which just indicates that these haven't not been switched out to the upgraded one. So this is going to help me out a lot more and a lot better for later on down the road. As well, we might take the cams out, wash those, make those look good, and I'm going to clean up around for this right here, for the gasket, so when the gasket goes on there, it's clean and it will have a good seal. So I also have some work to do. Oh, it's still attached right here. I have to take that off, but I have to do some work to clean, repaint. Oh yeah, clean, repaint, and make that look good. I have something special for that. It's gonna be some pretty cool colors. So stay tuned. We're just getting started, guys. We have a lot more to do. We're gonna try to knock all this stuff out at once, because I definitely don't want to do this again. This is way too much. We have to take apart the turbo and do all this extra stuff. I don't want to touch none of this stuff again, so I might as well do it now. And later on down the road, I can tell my son, yeah, you can do it if you want to, but I already did it. So, and I can tell you how long it took, and there's videos that document it. So, I will cut to when the manifold, when I get that screwed in there and get all that and get some more information about that hole, and I will come back with more information for you guys. Tune in next time on the VR4.